Technical malfunction here. You want to get computer companies to come help me with this? We good? All right. Okay, I think we're good. Thank you for allowing me and my family to spend time with you here tonight. We are truly honored to be the 2010 JDRF Promise Gala Fund to Cure family. Come on, bud. Okay. As a Fund to Cure family, or the Promise Light honoree, I want to do a few things tonight. Number one, I want you to understand why we need a cure and why we need it today. Number two, I want to... You okay? That's a little close. Let's back him up a little bit. Sorry, bud. I want you to know that your contributions tonight can and will make a difference. And number three, I want to motivate you to give generously. And we got three guys up front that are doing a great job, but I want to motivate you to give generously. Now, when JDRF asks you to be the Promise Light honoree of the Fund to Cure family, it's extremely exciting and nerve-wracking at the same time. To help, they give you a 9-page, single-spaced document with suggested topics, guidelines, things to say, things not to say. They tell you you're going to be center stage, spotlighted. Your kids are going to be running around. And there's going to be a whole lot of fundraising going on. Now, I remember my first gala. It was April 2008, and the Weesey family was that year's Fund to Cure family. And as I sat up front over there listening to Ted speak and tell his family's story on diabetes, I got to tell you, I was in complete awe. There was no way I had the strength to get up here and tell our family's story. Well, fast forward 2 years and roughly 7,000 blood sugar tests later. I'm going to go to this side. Stay there, guys. And here I am, passionate about a cure, caring much less about myself and more about connecting you with our cause, finding a cure for diabetes. Now, there's a story behind all this about why we are so excited and passionate about finding a cure, and I want to share that story with you tonight. Sorry. See, I'm a big numbers guy, and there have been a few numbers in my life, 4 to be specific, which I think tell our family story on diabetes. 4 numbers, 4 simple numbers. Are you ready for them? They are 615, 3, 0, and 1. Again, that's 615, 3, 0, and 1. It can't be too hard to remember. There's some Purdue grads in the room over there. I think they'll even remember. It's 615, 3, 0, and 1. You see, 615 is actually June 15, 2007, the day my son Alex was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes, a disease that has no cure. It has no cure yet. I remember the day vividly. It was a Friday. I was getting dressed for work, gray pants, blue shirt, just about ready to head out the door, and I noticed my wife was crying in bed. And I'm sitting here thinking, uh-oh, what did I do wrong this time? Well, when I asked her what was wrong, she told me Alex was sick. He was really sick. We needed to take him to the doctor, maybe even the hospital. And I'm thinking to myself, what are you talking about? He was fine last night. How could he be that sick? But there's one thing I have learned in my 13 years of marriage. It's that my wife is a heck of a lot smarter than I am. So we grabbed Alex and then loaded up our 1-year-old son, Finley, and drove up to see Dr. Stays at Carmel Pediatrics. And around 11:15 on June 15, 2007, my 3-year-old soccer-playing, sushi-eating, shy son was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. I remember my wife crying. I remember Dr. Stays' compassion and empathy as he gave us the diagnosis. And all I could think to ask Dr. Stays was, is he going to die? Is Alex going to die? I spent that night clinging to my wife at a pull-out bed at St. Vincent Hospital, Alex in the hospital bed next to us. The hours and minutes after his diagnosis were an absolute blur. We met with doctors, nurses, dietitians, support staff. Things are coming at us, and things are coming at us fast. We had all sorts of questions. I, for one, wanted to know, what the heck is diabetes? How do you manage it? How do you manage it in a 3-year-old? Can he still play soccer? Can he go to school? Will daycare throw us out? I had all sorts of questions. Still do. And through this uncharted and unknown storm, which I now know as diabetes, was a calming voice that struck a chord with me. And it came in the form of all things in a little blue backpack. And this backpack, or the bag of hope, was given to us by JDRF and served as our initial introduction into this wonderful organization. It had a diabetic teddy bear, Alex still has today, and had lots of information for moms and dads about caring for and raising a diabetic child. So I don't know how often they hear it, and I don't know if they truly understand the positive impact they make in the lives that they touch, but I do want to take a moment to thank JDRF for being that calm in the storm. Now, after our 3-day stay at St. Vincent Hospital, the Peyton Manning's Children's Hospital at St. Vincent, my personal life took what I like to call a few twists. You see, today is April 24th, 2010, and my son Alex has been diabetic for 1,044 days. 1,044 days. 6:15 seems so long ago, and yet I never put any distance between me and that day. It haunts me every day. And I guarantee you that every parent in this room with a diabetic child knows the exact day their child was diagnosed. They probably even know the time. It haunts us every day. When I woke today, nearly 3 years have passed since Alex's diagnosis, and not a single day has passed where it's not haunted me. I've been a third-party observer to my own life, while witnessing Alex display true courage and resolve, not allowing diabetes to control his life. My path is different. I had my twists, which leads me to our second number, the number 3. You see, on stage with me tonight, well, a second ago on stage with me tonight, are 3 beautiful kids, my 3 beautiful kids, Alex, Finley, and Isabel. But there was a time in my life, on 6/15 to be exact, when I had 2 beautiful kids, Alex and Finley. Now, I knew Jenny wanted a bigger family. I knew she wanted more kids. I knew she wanted a little girl, probably to go shopping with her at Saks and Nordstrom's. I knew she wanted Isabel. I also knew the odds of having a diabetic child once a sibling gets diagnosed goes from 1 in 500 to 1 in 20. 1 in 500 to 1 in 20. 1 in 20, that's only a 5% chance. That's not that big a number until I realized how scared I was since Alex's diagnosis, how twisted I'd become. I simply did not want another child, period. I was done with kids. I find myself coming home from work one day. Jenny's in the kitchen. She's excited. She's a little nervous. She's got something she wants to tell me. And you know what she wants to tell me? She wants to tell me she's pregnant with Isabel. And you know what I do? Absolutely nothing. I'm speechless. I don't say a word. Now, I'm ashamed to be up here and tell you this story. I'm embarrassed to not have shared in Jenny's initial joy with Isabel. I look at my beautiful daughter now, think, how could I not be excited? Now, fortunately for me, my breakthrough, my accepting of diabetes came in the obvious of all people, my wife, Jenny. Now, I might not be the sharpest guy. I am an IU guy. But it literally took me almost 2 years of sleeping next to her before I found the strength and courage to tell her how badly I'd been impacted by the diagnosis, how twisted I was, how often I sat at my desk at work with the door closed and simply cried. Jenny's courage and strength kept us all going and gave me hope. And we share in the same passion, finding a cure for our son Alex. And we kind of share in the same passion of her shopping days at Saks and Nordstrom's. Which brings us to our third number, the number 0. And you may be thinking, why 0? I think it's an easy answer. Being the parent of a diabetic family or a diabetic child makes you feel scared. You feel isolated. You simply feel alone. Society can turn their back on you, and it's hard to understand why. How many of you have sent your child to school for the first time? You remember that first day? Broke out the digital camera for all the pictures. You went to Target and spent way too much money on backpacks, lunchboxes, school supplies. As a parent, you are ready. Now try telling that child that they can't go to school down the street because that school doesn't take diabetics. We've had private schools tell us no, and I'm still trying to figure out how. We've had a public school tell us no. Your child's not welcome at our school. Here's what it sounds like. I'm sure you've got a wonderful child, but our school is simply not equipped to handle the special needs of a diabetic student. You haven't met him yet you know you can't handle his special needs. A little frustrating. Diabetes is hard. Diabetes is hard. Our life is different. You saw the video. We take Alex's blood sugar 10 times a day. We carry Alex's diabetes bag everywhere we go. I like to call it my man purse. I carry 18 things in that. Thanks. I carry 18 things in that man purse everywhere I go. Alex wears an insulin pump everywhere he goes. Alex wears a continuous glucose monitor everywhere he goes. And Alex is not allowed to go anywhere. Lifetime, aftercare at school, off the wall, play soccer, a friend's house, anywhere without an adult present who's trained in diabetic care. Getting a babysitter isn't simply calling Butler and seeing who's available. If Emily or Colleen aren't available, we don't go out, period. You worry 24 hours a day. The fear never leaves. It never leaves. Now, walking in the closed door after closed door, one door which has always been open to us is the door belonging to JDRF. It simply amazes Jenny and me at how often they reach out and ask, how can we help? They sponsor education events, walks, ride, amazing galas with amazing, awesome, unbelievable fun to care families. And there's no charge for awesomeness. They simply reach out and ask, how can we help? Now, not surprising, JDRF is an organization founded by parents of children with type 1 diabetes with the sole purpose of finding a cure for diabetes and its complications through research. Now, having been raised by a father that does research at a university, I can promise you the number one problem with research ain't the research. That's what the researchers are passionate about. The number one problem with research is funding. And what better way to help JDRF than help fund their research? And Alex is proof that JDRF-funded research works. Alex wears that CGM, which I attribute to his average blood sugar lowering from 240 to 190. And how do these CGMs come about? Through direct support and research by JDRF. JDRF made my son healthier. They gave him another weapon in his fight against diabetes. It works. Which leads us to our last number, the most important number, the number 1. Have you guessed what it is? Have you? That number 1 is you. You are the most important person in this room. You can make a difference. One person can make a difference, and you are my one. You see, we're already committed, but we need your help. We need you. Let me tell you a quick story about how we're committed. A couple months ago, it's a Friday night, it's 11:30. Surprisingly, Jenny and I are bellied up on the couch at home. Alex is upstairs asleep in bed. Isabel's upstairs asleep in bed. And down comes our 4-year-old for the 3rd time. And before I have a chance to tell him he needs to get his butt back upstairs and in bed, not so many words, Finley looks at us and simply says, "Daddy, Alex's CGM is beeping. I think he's going low." That's our 4-year-old son taking care of our 6-year-old son. Our 4-year-old son taking care of our 6-year-old son. We're already committed, but we need you. I need you. I need you. I need you to help Owen Fisher. And I need you to help Luke Weesey. And I need you to help Sarah Yoakum. And I need you to help Gracie Hoffacker. And I need you to help Doug Bruni. And I need you to help Bob Fowler. And I need you to help Bob's daughter, Chelsea Fowler. And I need you to help my niece, Brittany Russell. And unfortunately, this month I found out I need you to help out my nephew, Mark Russell. And yeah, I need you to help my son, Alex Russell. You see, when you help tonight, then I get energized to recruit. And you want to know my process for finding a cure for diabetes? Recruiting one person at a time, and that person is you. One person at a time, just one you. You see, when I recruit one of you here tonight, that I get energized to recruit another on Sunday, and then another on Monday, and then sooner or later we'll have recruited enough people that we'll have a new number to talk about, and it will be my new favorite number. And one day I will stand in front of you and say that on 6/15, my son Alex was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. And today, on my new favorite number, he was cured. He was cured. Please be Alex's one. Please be the one to help fund his cure. I'm supposed to stay up. Go ahead, bud. Follow Mom.